All right, so today we're going to do linear transformations. So we have a problem over here. It says given f of x equals x, what is the graph of negative 1/4 f of x minus 3? So this is your parent function. Let's highlight this one yellow. Your parent function is f of x equals x. It's going to be a straight line. It's going to go through the origin. We can graph that. But what we're going to do now is we're going to change it to become a new linear function. So it's going to be transformed or changed. And then we want to know after we do change it or transform it, which graph below A, B, C, or D is going to match the new graph. So what we can do is we can type in our first equation into Desmos. That's the parent function, f of x equals x. And you're going to see this green straight line going through the origin. Okay, has a nice positive slope. Y-intercept is 0. Now, what I can do is type in this second expression right here, the one that has been changed from the starting parent function. So I'm going to type that in. I'm going to type it in correctly. Get my parentheses right. And then minus 3. Okay. And so now this purple linear graph is my new or transformed graph. So what happened with this negative 1/4 in front of f of x is that it's actually that negative 1/4 is now making our graph have a negative slope. So from left to right, it is decreasing or going down. And it has made our graph less steep because our slope of 1 went to now a negative 1/4. And also this minus 3 caused our y-intercept to move from 0 to now a negative 3. So a couple things we're going to look for in our graph. Number one, we're going to look for a graph that resembles this purple line. So we want to make sure that it has a negative slope. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to look for graphs that have a negative slope. So this one right here, this one has a positive slope because from left to right it is going up. So we're not choosing that one. It also does not have a y-intercept at negative 3 like our new purple graph does. Now, again, I can look again at negative 3 on my y-intercept for each graph and see which one has that new y-intercept of negative 3. This one does not, this one does not, this one does not. So C would be our answer because C matches our new transformed graph. Okay, so let's try another problem. So now we have a quadratic. Okay, a quadratic is going to be in the shape of parabola. It's going to look like a U. It can open up or down. So quadratic functions P and Q are graphed on the grid. The graph of P was transformed, and all that means was changed, to create the graph of Q. Which function best represents the graph of Q? So basically, our graph of P, right here, that is the parent function, okay? And our parent function for a quadratic graph or function is y equals x squared, or f of x equals x squared. So you can type that in and you see right here, y-intercept is 0, 0, opens up, sitting with one x-intercept and the x-axis. Now, something happened to Q where it made us take our parent function and slide to the right, just a little bit to the right. So I'm going to type in each of these answer choices and see which one has a graph that also slides to the right. So I'm going to start with answer choice A. Q of x equals negative 2 f of x. Okay, if you look at that, that negative 2 is actually going to flip or reflect my parent function over the x-axis, and also that 2 is making it a little bit more narrow. So that's not the one that we would like to choose as our answer choice because it does not look the same as Q right here. So I'm going to try answer choice B. So I'm going to just take that part out. I'm going to type in f parentheses negative 2x. So again, still opening up, but if you look like my new graph in red has been kind of stretched and it's a lot more narrow. It has not been moved to the right, so we're not going to choose B. I'm going to look at answer choice C. I'm going to type in f of x minus 2. Okay, so now this looks like that I've taken my graph and translated it down 2 units. My y-intercept went from 0 to now being at -2. So I did not have my graph right here being moved down. That's not the correct answer. So I'm going to try this last answer choice right here. Type that in, and there we go. We see our red graph has been translated to the right too, and that's because anything within these parentheses right here is a horizontal or a move along with the x. Okay, so we moved, remember inside the parentheses is opposite, and you would think -2, you move to the left, but it's actually moving to the right too. So D would be our correct answer, and all you had to do was type in the parent function, type in your answer choice. So if you see anything with transformed or transformations and you have these equations, go ahead and graph them.